Hi, it's Rachel with Karefree Crafting. Now that the weather's finally cooling off, I thought we'd go back to quilting. I'm calling this one Cascade. It started out inspired by the chandelier quilt, and then I noticed how much waste I had. So I threw in another charm pack and used more of it. It is 6 blocks by 8 blocks for a total of 48. Let me show you how to make the block. Here we have our 3 background colors. We've got some black, some white, and some gray. And we've got 3 packages of charm squares and a rainbow of colors. So the first thing we need to do is sort out our different colors. We've got 2 of that purple, and we need to decide what color background this looks best against. For example, this really pale one, not so much against the white, but it really pops against the black, and it's pretty nice against the gray too. This purple is a bit dark against the black. It's pretty nice against the gray, but I like it best against the white. There are a lot of shades of purple and pink in this one. Kind of like these reds against the black, and I like that orange against the gray. I like that really pale one against the black. See, pale yellow on black and bright yellow on gray. I like these greens on white. I think that one might do best against black. And since we're using 3 different colors of background, we were able to use every color. Couldn't really have used this with a white background. Couldn't use this with the gray. And couldn't use that with the black. So here's how you'll cut your background fabric for this block. We have some 2.5 inch by 5 inch strips in black, white, and gray. In all of these we will need 20 of black, 46 of gray, and 30 of white. So same quantities here, here, and here. These are 5 inches by 2.5 inches. These are 7 inches by 2.5 inches. These long ones are 1.25 inch by 9.5 inch. And then these shorter long ones are 1.25 inch by 9 inch. Each block will also require 2 charm squares. There's a bit left over, so one of the charm squares stays whole. The other one gets cut in half, so we'll want to find our 2.5 inches, and it's actually easier to just fold this in half and find our center that way, because some companies will measure to the edge of the pinking and some measure to the inside of the pinking. So it's easier to just fold in half and cut along that crease. And then this needs to be cut in half again. So we'll again find the center. And cut that in half. Then I don't want this too matchy-matchy, so I've decided to do the smallest squares and a contrasting color. In this case, I have half of a red. I've already used this in another block, but you can see that this is half of this. So then I will just cut this in half again. And so for each block, you end up with this much left over. I mixed these little ones up, and so I ended up with several of the, I had several charm squares left over, and then some of them were whole, some of them were half, so I just cut everything in half, and that's how I made my border. It's just all charm squares cut in half and sewn end to end. But I'm getting ahead of myself. So these pieces get laid out like this. Big one in the center, and then half and half again, and then we just fill in this block. So we'll need our 2 5-inch pieces sewn to either side of this, then our 7-inch pieces will actually be sewn to this piece first and then onto this. Then our 9-inch pieces go in, and lastly we have our 9.5-inch pieces. And I know they don't look like they fit, but once we take off the seam allowances on all the inner pieces, everything fits nicely. So we'll start here in the center. The next thing we'll do is we'll sew these two and these two, and you can chain piece these when you're doing a lot of them. Now we'll sew these to this part. And so there's the center of the block. See how that's the same length now? And these are looking more and more like they fit together. We will attach the 1 1/4 inch square to the 9.5 inch strip. This unit is actually the last one to go on. The next one to go onto the main block is our 9-inch strips, just the plain 9-inch strips, and to either side. So now the very last thing to do is to attach these sides. There is our finished block, and here is a white example and a gray example. Alright, let's take one final look at the quilt now that you can see how it all goes together. Some people set this block on point. I didn't want to. I wanted the diagonal lines. If you liked this video and want to see more like it, please like, share, and subscribe. Have a great day.